Morgan Stanley today upgrades large cap banks. They upgrade Goldman and B of A to overweight. Well, they double upgrade Citi to overweight. You know, Jim Lebenthal's in that one, too. Oppie, by the way, calls the banks, quote, significantly undervalued. Recommend investors, in particular, overweight Goldman Sachs and Jefferies. They recommend BAC, Citi, JPM, Morgan Stanley, and U.S. Bank Corp as well. Joe, you own JPM, you own Morgan Stanley, you own Goldman, you like Citi?
I think as we came into the new year, you're asked the question, what is the one sector that will surprise you this year? Here we are approaching the month of February, and I will tell you emphatically, I think it's financials. I think financials, you're seeing a clear breakout. You're seeing it today. So far, year to date, you've got strong performance. Citigroup is breaking out, 52-week high, gaps higher, sentiments changing, volume is increasing. You could say the same thing for Bank of America. And then if you look through the entire financial sector, look at what insurance companies are doing. Look at what the research firms are doing. These companies are all seeing strong inflows year to date. And I have to tell you something, okay? In terms of mega cap earnings this week, for the benefit of an equally weighted ETF that I'm running, I hope mega caps miss, because there's the opportunity for capital to finally go into these other areas of the market. And the one specific area that I would target, financials above everything else.
Okay. Jenny, you got Schwab, Community Bank, Amex, not exactly the big money center banks or the investment banks that we're talking about, but nonetheless, they fall under the financials umbrella.
Right. And it's funny, we were just talking about banks in the office yesterday and started to dissect it. And if you look at this year's earnings, they're not that great, but then 25 and 26, they really start to explode. And so I think this year's the setup. So I'm wondering, if we should have been more aggressive in getting into them now with people anticipating that 25 and 26, and if we're a little bit slow to it. But Schwab and Amex, they're just different stories. Amex is clearly the industry leader there. We saw their earnings report last week, right, versus Visa and Discover. Amex is just crushing it. Schwab's a nice place to be, where money just pours in forever. So I don't know. We have some exposure in financials, but the big banks aren't where we're at yet.
Even more reason to own them. Earnings weren't good. Price performance is good. That tells you want to own them. Okay.